If you could avoid the hottest part of the day, that would be great. Also, you definitely want to find shade where you can.
We're just a few hours away from the hottest part of the day, and the high in Portland this afternoon could match the hottest temperature we've seen in the city so far this year. It's a weather impact alert day here at KGW. An update on cooling shelters and Rod's forecast coming up in our top story. Plus,
she absolutely loved Portland, and more than anything, she loved Portland soccer.
the Thorns honor one of their fans who died tragically last year while traveling overseas. We're going to take you back to this weekend's tribute with the woman's parents on the field. And later, researchers make a new discovery about a gourmet food ingredient that famously grows right here in Oregon. KGW News at noon starts right now. We start today's newscast with a live look at downtown Portland from our Wells Fargo Skycam. Many spots in the Portland area could be on their way to a 100-degree day, and that is the reason behind our KGW Weather Impact Alert. Rod Hill in the Weather Center there with the latest on today's extreme heat warning. Rod.
So, yesterday, Drew, it was generally upper 90s to 100, 101 in the Metro Valley. A few spots only got up to about 96, including KGW TV. So I've been watching our hour-by-hour run, and right now we're running about 2 degrees hotter than yesterday when PDX made it to 99 and Salem made it to 101. The pinkish tone from Cottage Grove up through Portland, up into Clark County, through the gorge into Central Oregon is the extreme heat warning zone, and this is up for today. It will also be up for tomorrow. And everybody in these areas, including Salem, including Portland, including Hood River, the Dalles, and even down into Bend, has the ongoing chance to see temperatures nearing 100 degrees. The orange areas on the map, which is you folks up in Cowlitz County and also parts of the Coast Range, expected to be in the 90s, but no real threat to hit 100, and you are under a heat advisory. We still are tracking with the model data that's come in this morning, high confidence of a Wednesday cool off, but we got to get through this afternoon and we got to get through tomorrow. I mentioned we're running on average about 2 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago at noon on average. Now Salem just jumped to 90 degrees at noon, which is actually 6 degrees warmer than you were yesterday. That's really spiked. You were 101. Full confidence you folks in Salem will be back up into the triple digit territory later this afternoon. Portland at 85. 24 hours ago, we were 83. 85 is where I thought we would be at noon. We have a west-northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. I'm going to leave the forecast high for the PDX airport location at 99. Obviously, we could hit 100 degrees. A lot of you will hit 100 degrees. We'll still be at 90 through 8 p.m., but the sun not going down until closer to 8:30. That means hot weather continuing into your evening. More on the other regional temperatures that we're looking at noon and what we expect to happen this afternoon in my complete forecast.
All right, thank you, Rod. And in an update this afternoon, Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson has issued a state of emergency for the county based on today's forecast for extremely high temperatures and the lack of relief that we'll see in the overnight hours. The county has opened up 3 daytime cooling centers that will offer food, water, and a place to escape the heat between now and 9 p.m. Pets are also welcome, and we're told that no one will be turned away. Outreach teams are also hitting the streets in Multnomah County to hand out supplies and let people living outside know where they can go to cool down. We have a full list of local cooling centers, by the way, and where exactly you can find them at KGW.com. Other counties in the metro area made preparations to help people beat the heat over the weekend. Here's KGW's John Adams with that story.
With temperatures hovering around triple digits on Sunday, buildings around the area opened their doors to help people stay cool. One of those locations was the Ledding Library in Milwaukee.
We have hydration packs, we have some popsicles, water, just stuff to cool off with.
This was just one of several centers that opened in Clackamas County on Sunday. Centers in Happy Valley, Oregon City, West Lynn, and Wilsonville were also activated.
Come inside, take a break, cool off, hydrate, relax, get your sorts in order, and then go about your day.
Multnomah County did not open cooling centers on Sunday, but did extend hours at 3 local libraries.
Libraries were already open, but we extended hours in Central and Albina as well as Midland.
Chris Voss, Director of Emergency Management with Multnomah County, gave these tips for people to stay safe when temperatures reach dangerous levels.
If you could avoid the hottest part of the day, that would be great. Also, you definitely want to find shade where you can. think of like loose fit clothing as well, and stay really hydrated, and I think that'll help people.
Voss says these tips are especially important with conditions expected to stay dangerous through Tuesday evening.
So this is really the start of this event, so we want people to think about what they're doing really for the next 2 days as well.
Again, that was John Adams reporting for us here this afternoon. Meanwhile, police say a woman was found dead inside a Southeast Portland home last night, and they arrested a 20-year-old man with her murder. The arrest happened after a 2-hour standoff at this home near Southeast 170th and Harrison. Police say a man called 911 around 6:30 last night to report a woman was dead in the home. When officers got there, they say Leonel Messias was armed inside and would not come out. The crisis negotiation team was called in, and at around 9 o'clock, Messias came out on his own. Police arrested him and took him to the hospital for medical care.
We were just at her grandpa's house minding our business. We heard a boom, a loud crash. We seen the police sirens. We were like, what's going on? Because we've been around here and we've never known it to be this active.
We want to thank people living and working in this area. We understand that when we come in to operations like this, when we're bringing a lot of vehicles, we shut down streets. That's an inconvenience to people in this area, and we really appreciate everyone's patience.
After he was discharged from the hospital, Messias was booked into jail for second-degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon. In McMinnville, police ended up finding drugs, cash, and guns while responding to a car crash over the weekend. Just before 9 o'clock Saturday night, a woman told police that her car was rear-ended while she was waiting at a traffic light. Officers determined that the driver who hit her, 30-year-old Jose Andalan, was intoxicated. They also found cocaine, Xanax pills, $2,900 in cash, and 2 guns in his car. Police arrested Andalan. His charges include DUI and possession of a controlled substance. Portland police say they're looking for the driver who hit a cyclist on their way to yesterday's annual Bridge Pedal event. The cyclist was seriously hurt but is expected to survive. Police released an image of the pickup truck believed to be involved in the crash. You see it right there. They say the driver left the scene, has not yet been found. So this is a white 4-door Toyota Tundra with black wheels and no license plate. Police also say there may have been damage on the truck's front grille. Anyone with information is asked to contact Portland Police. The family of a man who fell unconscious in the back of a Coos Bay police car and later died is suing the city and the officers involved. They claim an officer spent time texting and checking TikTok while the man was slumped over in his seat. KGW's Alma McCarty has more details.
I think it'll be a long time before there's healing there.
Healing for the family of Nathan Bradford Smith, a 33-year-old man who died a little more than a year ago.
It's galling, nonetheless. And so they're struggling.
According to a newly filed wrongful death lawsuit, this interaction, recorded by dash camera, wasn't the first time Coos Bay police had interacted with Smith that day. Here's Juan Chavez, the lead attorney on the case.
I believe at least one of these officers had encountered him earlier in the day and understood that he was using substances at that time, and that he was likely facing mental and physical health issues at that time.
This time, a 911 caller told dispatch they were concerned about Smith, lying partially in the roadway and flailing around.
He had the opportunity at that moment to be taken to a hospital that was a mile away, and instead he was put into the back of a police car.
Watch your elbow.
Smith can be heard in the video breathing quickly and heavily. In the lawsuit, attorneys point out the window didn't roll down. Smith was wearing a heavy coat and rain pants, and his temperature was 107.3. The officer transporting him drove not to the hospital, but to the police department, as Smith slumped further down in his seat. Once at the station, the officer left him there, and according to court documents, replied to texts and scrolled on TikTok upstairs.
That was crucial time for somebody to have come in and rescued him. Instead, he was left there to die. There was a 40-minute delay in getting him critical medical assistance. The EMTs did what they could to try to aggressively cool him, but it was too late.
The civil rights action against the city of Coos Bay and the officers involved calls the treatment of Smith unconstitutional, negligent, and abusive. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
All right, let's take a look at some of this afternoon's national headlines. We start with this. At least one person is dead after an explosion at a Pennsylvania steel factory. Local officials there say dozens of people were hurt. Crews are also searching for 2 people who may still be trapped in the rubble. The cause of this explosion is still unknown. President Trump announced that he will deploy National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. The move is part of his campaign against crime in the nation's capital. President Trump says the troops will support local law enforcement by targeting known gangs and criminal networks. Earlier this morning, a federal judge denied a request from the U.S. Department of Justice to unseal grand jury materials in the criminal case of Ghislaine Maxwell. The judge says those materials do not identify anyone other than Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell as having had sexual contact with a minor. Ford Motor Company says it's investing $2 billion to build affordable electric vehicles at a Kentucky assembly plant. The plant will build a, quote, new universal EV platform, which will launch with a mid-size 4-door electric pickup truck. That truck is planned to hit the market in 2027 at a cost of roughly $30,000. That's a look at some of today's national headlines.